we don't usually look at the UK chart for BTS and for the different members of BTS. So I went there just to look at what's happening and also checked out other acts that are actually doing well in the UK. Is very interesting because today Golden got to number one of Billboard Hot 100, and they were actually number one in the UK chart, I think, for a day or something. So for BTS songs, they of course do this differently than Hot 100. So the categories are a little different. The way that they're counting it, the cutoffs are different. But so BTS has not, and no BTS member or BTS itself has gone to the number one of UK, the UK chart, the singles chart. They have not gone to number one. So, but they have gone to number four, to the top 10 four times. So four different songs have gone to the top 10 four times. And in total, they've spent 7 weeks in the top 10. Okay. And then there have been 9 songs of BTS that got into the top 40, and they've stayed in the top 40 cumulative times 53 times. Okay, so this is unprecedented. No other acts had gone close to them, have gone close to this record. UK top 75. They do Hot 100, not Hot 100, 100 as well. So UK top 75 21 times, and then in total, they've stayed in the top 75 86 weeks. 86 weeks in total, cumulative of all their songs. They've gone to number one in the albums chart, which is also based on the total sales of the album. So two times they've gone to the number one of album charts, and they've stayed in the number one position cumulative times 2 weeks. So 1 week for each of the album that has gone to number one. And then number in the top 10, they've gone there 5 times, and they've stayed in the top 10 a total of 7 weeks. They've gone to the top 40 8 times and stayed in the top 40 26 weeks in total. And then they've gone to top 75 10 times, and they've stayed in the top 75 49 weeks in general. And this is the best record of all Korean acts and all Asian native acts. Did you say Golden to number one? Yes, Hot 100, they were number one. Golden of Huntrix, not Golden of Jungkook. Um, okay, so that's for BTS. So I've also gone to each of the members. Sorry. So this is the singles chart, just so we see the songs that were included in the singles chart for BTS. Oh, okay. So for Jin, he's gone to number one on the singles chart, top 40 once, one song, and he stayed in the top 40 for 1 week in total. But he did stay in top 75 5 weeks. Okay. And then for an album, he got to number 75, the top 75 once, and he stayed there for 1 week. So that's for Jin. And just so we have, so for Jin, this is funny because if you go to the singles chart and go and check at Jin's profile, you'll see Learn Chinese, which was released in 2005. I'm like, what the hell is Learn Chinese? So I guess they just credited it to Jin because obviously he hasn't even debuted in 2005. I don't know what that Learn Chinese is. So for the astronaut, I'll Be There, Running Wild, and then Don't Say You Love Me. Those are the 5 songs that actually made it to the singles chart. I don't know where that Learn Chinese is, but it is under it is under Jin. Suga's songs, he's gone to top 75 once. Now, do remember Suga has two identities, Suga and Augustine. So for Suga, credited as Suga, top 75 one song and stayed in top 75 for 1 week. BTS live album is breaking records as well. It is breaking records. I think Demon Hunters people made Jinju Saja to look like Jungkook. I also think that they were thinking of him when they wrote the song called Golden. Okay, so that's for Suga. Um, this is August D. If you include August D, it'll be two. So sorry, for if you include August D, there will be three. So for August D, these are the ones that went into the singles chart, 1 week each. The Cheetah and Hegum, and albums chart, August D Day and D2, 1 week each. Um, in the one, so for D2, it was in the top 10, and then for D Day, it was in top 41. Okay. So in if you summarize it, I know it's a little confusing for Suga, but for Suga, he's actually been in the top. Oh, actually, I think I captured it here. So this is what went inside for Suga. Okay, so it's just that for him, you always have to check two names because one is under Suga and then one is under that. Um, BTS Live. Yeah. I still don't understand how they categorize Golden as a K-pop album. Is a whole new world Arabian or maybe Philippines since Leia sang it? Oh, Golden the song? Why do they categorize this at? Okay, for J Hope, he's been in the top 40 twice, and he stayed in the top 40 for 2 weeks in total, but stayed in top 75 6 weeks in total, and went inside top 75 6 times. As for his album, one reached top 40 and stayed in top 40 1 week. Two reached top 75 and stayed in top 75 2 weeks. So I think these are the songs that actually went in. Okay, so for J Hope, these are the songs that went inside for the singles chart. So Chicken Noodle Soup, More, On the Street, Neuron, LV Bag, Sweet Dreams, Mona Lisa, and Pillin' It Girl. So that's for his singles. He's actually he has the most. He has the most. RM song one inside top 75. Weeks in top 75 is once. JK last I heard was in Japan, CK Japan schedule. And then he two albums went inside top 75 and stayed in top 75 2 weeks. But one album actually went to top 40 and stayed in the top 40 for 1 week. And these are the albums. So Come Back to Me went inside the top 100, but the peak was 80. That is the reason. That is the reason you only see one in top 75. And then Lost is the peaked at 93. So that is the reason you only see again one in the top 75. Because the only single of his that went inside top 75 is Never Play. And then for the album though, Indigo peaked at number 48, stayed in the chart for 1 week. And then Right Place, Wrong Person, RPWP, peaked at number 37 and stayed for 1 week. Okay. Next. Um, for Jimin, he went inside the top 10 twice and stayed longest stint inside the top 10 4 weeks. He went inside top 40 3 times, and longest stint inside top 40 is 19 weeks. So he got into the top 75 4 times, and longest stint, sorry, cumulative stint inside the top 75 is 33 weeks. But only one album made it inside the top 75 and stayed there for 1 week. So if we look at the details, this is for the singles. Vibe only peaked at number 96, but Set Me Free, Like Crazy, Angel Part 1, Smeraldo Garden Marching Band, and Who all went up. Oh, sorry, Angel is only 82. So all of those went inside top 75. Those are the songs that went into the top singles chart. Okay, so that's for Jimin. For V, um, twice landed in the top 40, cumulative weeks of 2 weeks in the top 40, twice landed in top 75 and cumulative weeks of 3 weeks in the top 75. And these are the ones that made it. So, Slow Dancing and Friends, 24 and 13 peak, but Winter Ahead failed to make it inside the top 75, but it peaked at number 86. Okay, that's for V. And then for Jungkook, four times top 10, cumulative weeks of 4 weeks in the top 10, four times in the top 40, cumulative weeks of 18 weeks in the top 40, six times top 75, cumulative weeks of 36 in the top 75. He only had one album, so he only did once in the top 10 in the albums chart. Top 40 2 weeks and top 75 5 weeks. So this is how it looks like for Jungkook. Stay Alive did not make it in the top 75. The rest of the songs that I will be mentioning did. Left and Right, 7, 3D, Too Much, Standing Next to You, and Never Let Go. So he has the most entry in the top, the highest. Okay, so this is the summary because I know you're going to ask for the summary. So this is how it looks like. In the top 10, so not neither BTS or the members got into the number one position yet. Hopefully in their comeback. But for BTS, four times in the top 10, Jimin two times in the top 10, Jungkook four times in the top 10. Top 40, nine times for BTS, Jin twice, Suga once, Jimin thrice, V twice, and Jungkook four times. Top 75, 21 times for BTS, six times for Jin, six times for Suga, one each for J-Hope and RM. Jimin four times, V twice, and Jungkook six. That's your summary for their UK charts. Um, Bob German. My favorite solo songs don't chart. I'm unbothered. Yeah, my favorites don't chart as well. So, oh no, wait. The one thing. So for of all the songs of V, that my favorite V solo song is Friends, and that charted. Outside of that, all the other ones that I like didn't chart. My favorite didn't chart. Um, but JKX UK, I know, right? It's like, look at that, 44436. I mean, come on, he's raking it in. I love your charts. The UK chart it's really hard to crack. I was actually planning to go into the German chart. I was like, what if I do all the top 10 regions, the top 10 markets? Oh my God. It's like, maybe I should do Japan. Because we always hear, like, oh, topping the Oricon chart or whatever. Why don't we actually do a deep dive in the Oricon chart? Because Japan is the second largest, right? Do you want me to do that? Let me know. Okay. Thank you for looking it up. Okay, but was it even two times for Jin? The song was for MC Jin, Adrian. That's true. You deduct one. People are sleeping in Mona Lisa. J Hope killing it, etc. Not charting. It isn't. So let's go back to J Hope so that you can clearly see. Okay, J Hope there. It did. It actually was there in the top. It was there in the chart for 2 weeks. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Simply JJ became a premium subscriber. I'm gonna talk about the website in a bit. So, Killing It Girl, yes, it did. So, but my favorite, I have to confess that my favorite is actually Mona Lisa. Of the three English singles, not of all his songs, but of the three English singles, it's actually Mona Lisa. That's my favorite. So okay, so we're gonna do better. I think, if there's one thing that we should be paying attention to is the fact that, like for example, for Jin, it's not Jin, but for Jungkook and for Jimin, they hardly promoted in the UK. Jimin did not promote at all. At least Jungkook had one or two appearances. I think he did. He had one radio show appearance and then that live performance that he did. So still, that hardly counts as a promotion, right? So for him to still be able to rank in there, for the two of them to still rank in there, that's a good sign. right? So I think it's the only thing that we need this time. We also need to keep in mind that they were in the military for a really long time. So right? So they a lot of the things that they were supposed to do, they weren't able to do the tour, releasing whatever. So even Map of the Soul was cut down to two instead of three because of all the things that were happening. Okay, so let's there are others who actually made it inside. But this is the summary for albums. So he had uh, one of each. So okay, now let's go to Blackpink. They are the closest that could the second. They're the next to BTS in terms of charting in the UK. So not in the top 10, they did top 40. So nine times in the top 40 and a total of 17 weeks in the top 40. And then UK, but then they stayed in the top 75 39 weeks. They had a number one album. So they had the top two album and they had top 40 and top 75. So did I screen cap there? Jenny has went inside top 45 times and then total of 15 weeks, and then top 75 7, but cumulative weeks 33. In terms of album, she landed at the top 10 once, top 40 once, and top 75 once. So I don't know if I, yeah. So these are the singles that went inside the top 100. You and Me, her longest stint is one of the girls, but like Jenny is catching up. It's already 11. It's been in the chart for 11 weeks, and then yeah, and then Handlebars. I think these are songs in her album, latest album. So B sides in her album. Okay, next for Rose, this is all apathy. So it's been there for 46 weeks in the top 75. It was in the top 10 for 16 weeks and inside the top 40 for 14 weeks. One album in the top 10. Longest stay of her album in the chart is 2 weeks. So this is apathy. Here, I think um, yeah, so she has like Messy. This is the OST for F1 the movie, and then Toxic Till the End, this is the single in her album, and then Number One Girl, also the single in her album. So Number One Girl, Messy didn't make it to the top 75, but on the ground, which was she released this when she was still with, well, she still is in Blackpink when she long time ago, and then Apathy peaked at number two, stayed in the inside the chart for 42 weeks. I think it's still there. And then yeah, and then the Number One Girl, sorry, the Toxic Till the End, and then On My Mind. The On My Mind is with Alex Warren, and this is the her latest release. Um, for me, Jimin alone doesn't get any love. It's getting love from me. I think I've mentioned that I prefer face over news. So, but I understand the difference in their objective. I'm very mindful of the objectives of the boys whenever the kids whenever they release the albums. Lisa, 15 total weeks in the top 75. 1 week or sorry, 2 weeks in top two. Sorry, in the top 40, and then album one inside top 40. 1 week inside top 40, and then 1 week inside top 75. So that means she entered and then dropped out immediately. So this is for Lisa. Um, I'm doing this because they're the second in terms of the number of weeks inside the UK charts. So Money is number 46. Sorry, La Lisa is 68. That's the peak. But the longest stay is Money for 8 weeks, and that peaked at number 46. Rockstar peaked at number 49, but only stayed there for 1 week. New Woman peaked at number 55, stayed there for 1 week. Born Again peaked at number 13 and stayed there for 7 weeks. And then Priceless, which is the one with Maroon 5, peaked at number 69, stayed there for 1 week. And then Jisoo, only had one across the board. So 1 week top 40, 1 week top 75, and only one song, and that song is Earthquake, I think. Oh, Flower. Flower. So this is video streaming chart. Okay, so they're the second. They're the second. So it's harder to crack. The UK chart is way harder to crack. But actually, I wanted to give you your, because I know that this was going to be a heavy topic. So I wanted to give you your emotional support picture of the day. Someone sent this to me. So I did not see that coming. That he was, I thought when he had this, he would for like several minutes or less than a minute, we would catch him in that black tank top, but he would always put on a jacket. I did not see him completely taking off his jacket. Our kids are growing up. Okay, so that's your emotional picture of the day, and that's two more. Someone just sent this picture to me, but one thing that I actually love is how this picture really shows that he can walk the runway, because those shoulders are meant to launch 1,000 brands. I hope that Gucci actually makes him walk the runway, because that shoulder, people are gonna kill for that. If you are in the fashion business, I've actually directed two fashion shows, minor ones, not major ones, definitely not Fashion Week. So, but and that's one of the things that a designer would always look for, the shoulder, because the way that he explained it to me is that if you are walking the runway, you actually need a hanger. Basically, is what you need. You need a walking hanger. So, and those shoulders are walking hangers. So I hope they make them walk. They Gucci actually makes them walk the runway, but they're so busy. And then you have Ten. This one was, when I watched the video, it was so funny because I can't even pay attention to the biceps, because so he was working out, right? It was working out, and then suddenly, and he was looking so tough. It was like, go, Te. And then he looked at his trainer and said, like, is it over yet? I'm like, how can you shift so fast? So there you go.